August 8th, 2024. How's it going, guys? Well, I got another video for you. And what are we going to talk about? Well, we're going to talk about Las Vegas. We're going to talk about the crime out there. We're going to talk about homeless some. We're going to talk about the prostitution out there. And we're going to talk about how many people that have come in here to this country. Now, estimates range from 20 to 30 million people that have come in here in just the last couple of years or better. That's a lot of people. And especially when some of these people have come down from Central America and different other countries, from over maybe even in Asia or from Africa. Some have come out of prisons. And let's just talk about that right off the bat. Now, I noticed when we were there in Las Vegas, there's a lot of Latins that have come in. But I noticed a lot of some of these tattoos that some of these have on their arms actually are like tattoos that they would have in prison. And that just, I don't know, kind of caught my eye right off the bat. A lot of them can speak our language. Some of them can't at all. I mean, the things that I notice are the ones that have the credit cards that have brand new credit cards, but they don't know how to use them. Yeah. Now, we stayed at the Luxor, and when we got in there, there was a big line. And mostly, it looked more like people that were maybe almost from Central America. Now, I've been all over. I've been all over the United States. I've been over to Europe. I've been down into Tijuana. And these, which I would say Latin, did not look like they were from Mexico or just regular Tijuana area. These look like maybe Central America. And what I did find kind of odd too is out there is that, one thing that was kind of odd, they came up to me and my son there at the Luxor, and they got us right in. We didn't have a problem at all to go. We didn't have to stand in line at all, which was a good thing. I enjoyed that. But then I thought, well, I didn't see any other basically white Caucasian like that standing there. And over the 5 days that we were there, I seen a lot of different things, and that's what we're going to talk about. I'm going to talk about day by day. Now, we were really pressed for time going in there because, like, our plane, believe it or not, our plane got in there, I think it was around noon. But I think it was 3 o'clock. You can't check in till like 3, I think is what it was, or after. And so we had to make the most of our time because we had a show scheduled, the Atomic Saloon show, for late night that night. So we didn't want to waste the time, so we went out there to that, I think it was called South Point. Let me look here, make sure if I'm saying that right. Yeah. And I'm going to talk about it for a little bit. Great little casino. Good buffet there. I posted, I believe from it, a couple different buffets I posted videos from when I was there. I'll go back and maybe send a couple more out and stuff. But pretty smooth, pretty nice casino. We actually went back another time and ate there again at the buffet. We thought it was so good, and actually won a pretty good jackpot there too, just before we left. Isn't that the way it always is, guys? But like I say, when we got to the Luxor, I don't know. It seemed like there's a different kind of thing, kind of like in the air with these people. Now, there was older people. There was I noticed what I didn't notice there over the 5 days. I didn't see a lot of Japanese people. I didn't see a lot of Koreans there. I seen Chinese. I seen Latins. But that was about it. And I don't know, it just seemed kind of weird to me. I mean, like it seems like there's been a ton more that have dumped in here into the United States. Now you got to kind of look at that because where's all this stuff going here in the end? And I also overheard some things people talking that very interesting. Uh, when we were coming back on the airplane, there was an individual that pretty much spoke out of turn about a couple things. And supposedly that by 2032, they figure that pretty much everything they'll have everything in hand, and us people that like our freedom and all the rest won't be there anymore. I'll just put it that way in that respect. And I actually heard this. Me and my son actually did hear this. This was on the plane. So it's interesting. Well, we'll see. We'll see where this all goes. We'll see if we get to keep our freedom here, all of us here. Or, like I say, like to say, freedom's not always free. Sometimes you got to fight for that. But getting on with this, we, like I say, we were pressed for time. We went there to South Point and ate and stuff, went back to the Luxor. And then we took about an hour nap because we were going to that late night show. And we had been up since 4:30 a.m. in the morning to be able to get up there to KCI, get ready, go through all that and everything. Because we didn't know where to park exactly. We had seen, oh, that's another thing, guys, I want to talk about real quick for a second, is the parking. Now, there's a couple videos out of all the stuff here in Kansas City and all the money they spent on all this stuff. Nobody did any videos on about parking up here. They did the main video, shows the insides and the food court and all the other stuff, but they didn't go into any detail. And still, we don't exactly know. We went by where if you wanted to park out at the cheap parking, but I think it was a gentleman, I think it was a gentleman did the video. There's a couple videos out there about Kansas City here, where you can either park in the closer up and outside, or you can park in the garage. And and the prices do vary widely. I mean, if you park in the garage, I think it's like about 160 to 180 for 5 days or better. It was 120 to park outside. And then they have, I think it's like $9. But nobody has actually done a video to where you can actually go to the cheap parking lot, which would be interesting if somebody would do something like that, if you had the time to do it. But that was just, I just thought that was kind of odd. But they had said get up there about an hour and a half before when parking, because if you had to deal with stuff and carrying stuff, and then they said about another 2.5 to 3 for the going through the TSA line, which didn't take as long as it seemed like they said it would take on that part of it. So we did a lot of setting that first day and waiting to get through everything. Now I am going to talk about the TSA line a little bit too here for a couple minutes. I thought here at KCI, they did things differently than they did out there in Las Vegas. Now they had told us they wanted the change, like your change out of your pocket, in one of the gray containers. Our concern was the money that we were carrying in our billfold. If you're a guy, I mean, it's different if you're a guy than a gal. And, do you lay it in there? We had seen videos on where you should put it into your carry-on, which that's a good idea, guys. Put that, take a little small carry-on, put your billfolds in that. So then they would have to unzip that. But I will say, the way KCI is made, you can actually stay pretty much with the container, okay? So, I mean, you have to lay your, that's another thing they should tell too. Your phone, you have to lay it flat separately, your keys separately from that in that gray container. Nobody talks about this. You could go to all these videos. Nobody shows all this stuff. And I probably will go back over me and my son on a couple of these things and talk about this too on this. Because, you know, for people that haven't flown or haven't flown in a long time, you don't know what to expect. But going through the one back through Las Vegas was more of a concern because where the trays lay, they push the people on through and it's a lot longer. And that's what our concern was. Could you stay with... And in Vegas, you really can't. You walk on up to the deal and you're maybe 20 to 25 feet away. And their x-ray going through there, when them pushing through those containers, was very slow. And we went through the x-ray. We didn't have no problem with that. Went through it all and everything. And you can't hold your boarding pass in your hand, guys. You know. Also, I should say, when you first check in, you know, they ask for your ID, and you go. It's easy to go to the kiosk and print your tickets for the check bags. Yeah, the carry-on. The carry-on you don't need to print a ticket for. So that's something else nobody talked about. I watched probably 20 different videos, and nobody's talked about that. When you go to the kiosk, you just print the tickets out. If you have 4 bags and one's a carry-on, you print them for 3 to check them, and the other one on through. And somebody should be a little bit more precise on some of this because, like I say, we watched a lot of videos before we flew out there, and it just wasn't there. But I wanted to talk about that too. But what was funny, which wasn't funny for this one guy, he lost one of his shoes. Because don't forget, you got to take your shoes off. Put your shoes in the bucket, in the gray bucket. Well, some way, like I say, out there in Vegas, they were real slow getting it through, and the line's a lot longer. Like I say, it's probably 25 feet. You're 25 feet away from your carry-on and anything you put in that container. And not good. And this one guy says, my other shoe, where's it at? He has his TA, I don't know. And I was like, oh boy. Never seen the guy get a shoe. I don't know if you ever found it or they found it or whatever, but wanted to get that out there too. So getting back to this here out there in Las Vegas a little bit, looking at this stuff. So we went to the Atomic Saloon show that night. Give it a 10, 2 thumbs up. Very good, comical. A little bit of burlesque, a little bit of spinning around, a little bit of kind of hanging off your ropes and stuff. Wild stuff. Pretty good show. But me and my son, we basically, you set these tables like around if you're sitting on the main flat floor. And there was another Latin couple that sat beside us. I would estimate age maybe... probably 35 to 40. But, okay, we're going to talk about something else here for a minute, too, that it pertains to this. Way back, I used to dance a lot. Went to precision dancing, you know. Did like the East Coast, the West Coast. But those people are all grouped up in certain groups, too. You got a lot of Germans. And you got a lot of Latins. And the Germans think that the Latins are just it. That they're the best dancers on the planet. Well, I mean, everybody's got an opinion. Now, I don't know about that for sure. I think the Irish, I think the Scottish, I think the English got pretty good dancers too. And, well, this is why I'm bringing this up. Because this Latin lady on the other side where my son was sitting here, because we were sitting at this table, oh, they were clogging, okay, in this, show. And they were really good. You guys, like I say, you get a chance, you can even check it out on YouTube. They have a pretty good class, about a 14-minute clip. And oh, God, you could just tell this gal, she just cringed at that. She just hated that. And I was just thinking, well, everybody has their own opinion and everything, but you could tell this, it really made her mad. Because, I mean, the thing of this is, when we were out there, it seems like a lot of the Latin culture, some of this stuff is being pushed now when you come into that. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, like Mexican food. Now, I like Mexican food occasionally. My favorite is barbecue and pizza and hamburgers, American hamburgers. But, occasionally, some tacos or a burrito. We actually went to a place there at the Luxor, even that Diablo's Cantina. I'll be showing a deal of that too about what we got. But the thing of it is, there were some odd things that took place while we were there, guys. I mean, very odd. Now, there was a deal that just recently just happened in the last few days about some people down in Cancun that got drugged. And it was at a resort, and it was supposed to be safe and everything like that. And the second day out, me and my son, we ate at the Luxor, okay? And we watched. I mean, we're from Kansas City. What don't you do here in Kansas City? You better watch if you live in Kansas City, because there's a lot of bad things go on here. I mean, way back, even when I went down to a place called Doc Holliday's, which was kind of like a biker bar, and it had a little bit of the mob working, different groups, different people there and stuff. This one biker come in one time, and he got a pitcher of beer. He said, "I gotta go to the restroom." And he asked this one of the bartender gals to watch his beer. Well, she had to go. Somebody called her over, and she walked away from it. And he had a fit when he came. He said, "Oh my God, I got to buy another pitcher of beer." That's how much trust was here. And there's a lot of other incidents here I can talk about. But getting to this out there, so we're at a buffet, Luxor's buffet. And we thought, we'd eat breakfast there and stuff because we was going to go to Red Rock Canyon the second day. So this Latin or Mexican lady seats us, and no big deal first. And then all of a sudden, she brings us a bowl with like chips in it, with some kind of different kind of two-color different cheeses on it. And then she walks away, and my son said, "What is that?" And I said, "I don't know." I said, "Don't eat it, whatever it is," because I said, here we are at a buffet, you get your own food and stuff. But then I started watching the lady and see if she went to any other tables, see if it was something. She never did. And then I go back for a second plate. When I'm going back for the second plate, I come back and it's gone. I said, "Where did it go?" And she said, "She came and picked it up." And it was like, whoa, that was kind of a deal. So you want to be aware of when you go out to Las Vegas. And there's things going on out there that definitely are not all on the up and up. But just like when I was out here in Independence, down by Costco's at that McDonald's. I mean, somebody took bites out of that, basically that sausage McMuffin that I ordered. And did the police follow up on it? Not really. I also went to the health department. Never heard nothing back from them either. Also contacted McDonald's. Didn't hear nothing from them either. I think anybody that's handling food should be held accountable up to like a federal standard. Because, when you're, just like you getting on that plane, why do we have the TSA? Well, that's supposed to keep it, from blowing up the plane. So people are, well, if you're eating food, the food should be held at a higher standard too. We got a lot of people coming in this country. So who's looking at that? I still got all that food still saved frozen in my freezer too. I don't let nothing go, and I save everything. But the thing of this is, we started seeing a little bit of a pattern, maybe out of I don't know, 25, maybe 20% of the people out there. And I was watching between the younger ones, the older ones, and there seemed to be a kind of a deal out there. But this was only with the Latins, not any other, bunches out there. And I just thought that was kind of weird. Like, they're taking over. I mean, that's it. They're going to take over, kill everybody off, I guess, or something. I don't know, but sure was going to eat that food. And, lots of you could go back and look at their video. I think that was on the 2nd. We were there. We were from there from the 2nd to the 5th. And they got cameras everywhere on all those places, everywhere. But I just thought that was weird. I don't know. I didn't see her take anything to any. We never seen her. I mean, we seen her waiting on several other tables and never seen that. So I found that very, very odd. Why somebody would do that. Lots of things. And crazy stuff. But then I couldn't get over that gal getting mad at the show, at that Atomic Saloon show. She was sitting over there and she was just cringing. Well, I mean, the attitude on some of them, you could just see. Like I say, a couple other of the restaurants that we went to, they were pushing all the Latin food. Now, why would that be? I mean, you're out in a place where people go vacation to eat anything. I mean, everybody looks at what's there. So why would they be pushing that stuff? I don't get it. I don't know. I thought it was weird. My son did too. Very weird. So we go on from there. Let's see. What day is here? So we went out there, excuse me, to Red Rock Canyon. I'm going to be doing a video on that, showing some of the photos on that. And we came back from Red Rock Canyon. And I had wanted to go, and I was thinking about going and maybe like between the psychic and the Reiki, because I do a lot of different things with metaphysics and stuff. I'm still looking for people that still have certain energies. And there's only certain ones that have that top of the line. Before we left to go out of here, they had raised some of them had raised their prices. I was looking at two different groups, but I thought, well, one of them was around, I don't know, I think it was like $200, but one of them, it was 200, went from 500, the other one went from 500 to 1,000. And I thought, nah, I ain't gonna do it. I'll just go hit some of the metaphysics stores. So, second day out, after Red Rock Canyon, we went down over there, it's kind of over by the old Fremont Street, but it's over in a different area close to the old areas. And it's in a Latin district. So we go in there, and it's kind of like here in Kansas City, like Aquarius. And went in there and looked at their crystals and stones. And I've been in different places here in Kansas City, lots of all the different metaphysics stores. And this was way through the roof. And we're gonna talk about this for a minute. There was an older lady that come in there. I'm guessing she was maybe, I don't know, 65 years old, 60 years old maybe. But she was looking for something for protection up by her door or whatever, for protection like. Now these stones in this place were way higher, which I mean, anybody can offer, sell what they want for whatever, but it was way, and I'm going to show a couple, three things. Now, hold on, guys. Now, I went to Aquarius just yesterday, and we got obsidian here, and we got tourmaline here. Okay. Now, these were like $1 a piece at Aquarius. Okay, it's what they go for. At this place, the protection stones were going from $5 to $20 a stone. But when I walked through the area, they had some huge crystals like Aquarius. I mean, sometimes Aquarius up there has quartz crystals as big as 6 foot tall, big as a person. Well, these they had some amethyst sitting there at this place. It was called the Honey Pot, and I mean, they had some pretty good prices on them. High, but the thing of it was when this lady asked for the protection stones, which these stones should be cheap. They should not be outrageous. Now, hold on, guys. I got one other thing I want to show you real quick. Hold on. All right, I'm back. So, this is what they consider selenite. It's a tower, okay? Now, this tower, I forget what I gave for it. I mean, average tower sometimes goes from, I don't know, it depends, $8 to, I think, $15 max, this size, okay? Now, they had a tower at this honeypot place, or smaller than this. And we were talking in the neighborhood of, I think it was like $30. And these were off the scale. I mean, there was some stuff that went up all the way up to like $75. And that to me is insane. But it wasn't, I wouldn't have thought nothing about it. I mean, everybody can ask the price what they want. But when this lady asked information about what she could use for protection, I didn't hear any of the correct information being told. And that's what got to me. That's what really got to me, because selenite is the best thing to use if you want to absorb any negativity. Actually, this little one, I actually put above my door, in my front door here. So when this lady said that, and I recognized this one lady that was actually talking to her from some of these groups that are in the Reiki groups out there. Because like I say, I looked at some of these, and there was only a couple that I was even considering that would probably have a high enough energy that could also do like the light language and other stuff. And it just blew my mind. So I did a video on that when I was out there, because I thought, man, only thing the lady had to say. And then if the gal, and then the gal actually, she was honest with her. She said, well, I don't have that kind of money, to do that, like that. Well, then she could have gave her some alternatives. But these here, like I say, here in Kansas City, that's good prices here in Kansas City at Aquarius. I mean, Aquarius does have some higher end items, but they have some higher end crystals and stuff. But they do have these. And I just bought some, actually, I just bought a couple new selenite. Hold on, guys. I'll show you something else that I can find real quick. Okay, guys, these were $6 each at Aquarius. Oh man, and these things are great. These are a lot of fun. You can move these energy out through them. All different kinds of things. But what I was going to say, now this I got this way back at Aquarius. But what I was going to say, they were going for about $6 too. They were from $30 to $50. $30 to $50 for one of these out there at that honeypot. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So hold on, guys. Just a second. So I'm back. So there was an incident. It took place on the next day when I went down to Fremont Street. And that's what we're going to talk about on that just for a second. So hold on, guys. All right, guys. So I'm back. And went down there to see that Alter Ego, I think is what it was called or whatever. Good band. And it just amazes me how things are intertwined and interconnected. Now, like I said, we're going to talk about all this stuff intertwines between the witchcraft, between the Reiki, between drugs, between other stuff. A lot of them use drugs to try to reach their potential, but that isn't the answer. And you could, I can give you a couple of that Mark Bajerski and E.E. Arts. They can tell you that too. They've been around a long time. I mean, if you want to reach your highest potential, you can't do it by using stuff like that. It just doesn't work. But anyway, and I'm not affiliated with any other YouTube channels, guys, so just I'll get that out there too. So I'm listening to the music, son, and here comes this Latin guy and this gal. Real short, fat Latin gal. I mean short. And this guy, and I guess he's going to get me. Anyway, she held him back, but they were about 15, 20 feet away. I was thinking I'd already spotted this guy. Now, I don't know what this pertained to. I assumed that it pertained to this deal, to this honeypot place. But now, when I was there was a black lady that she's the one who was running the show there. I didn't see any Latins in this metaphysics shop. So I don't know what this thing was. But this guy, I don't know. It's very interesting. But I assumed that it pertained to that because it always pertains back to the witchcraft and the other different things and stuff. Again. So I wanted to talk about that, but that was all cleared and we had a good time. I danced a lot out there in front. Actually got to meet the other me, and I'm gonna do another video on that. Actually, he gave us some stickers even. And he's always down there filming the music, and he's always out there filming all the different people and stuff. Now, when we got there, first thing we got there down there, this gal comes up. I don't know if they were trying to sell stuff or he said, "Yeah, do you smoke weed?" I said, "No, I don't smoke weed." And neither does my son. So anyway, we went on from there. But that was the first thing when we first got down there on Fremont. Interesting though. But we did have a good time. Had a lot of fun down there. Now there are some strange things that go on, but there's strange things that go on everywhere. But like I say, it was cool to meet that other me, the guy there, and it's cool. And like I say, I'll show his stickers and stuff later on. But I wanted to talk about this. But like I say, we kept running in to certain things though at certain places that to me it seemed like they were singling people out from different age groups, which seemed kind of weird. And but it was always Latin. It was always Latin. Like they're pushing to, like I say, to take over. That's what it looks like to me. Me and my son, we talked about it. And to have 2 or 3 incidents at restaurants. Now, like I said, one was at Luxor. And at the buffet, And we ate mostly at the buffets. Like I said, we ate at a few other restaurants. And can talk about that real quick too. My son wanted to go down to In-N-Out, try it. I wanted to go to that Herbs or whatever they called it. We should have went there. But we went to In-N-Out, and on the one that's on the strip. Not recommended, guys. Do not go to the one on the strip. Go somewhere else, but don't go to the one on the strip. Now, we're used to sitting and standing and waiting. We walked about 8 miles per day while we was there. 8 miles per day between going to Hoover Dam, between going to, like I say, Red Rock Canyon, and walking, and even using the monorail. That's how long, like I say, how far we walked. And we did a lot of walking, too. So we get to In-N-Out, and we get in there, and there's a mile-long line. I mean, there's a mile-long line. Well, we figured that, you know. But it was hot. Now, the heat don't bother me that much. My son, he don't like the heat as much as I do. It doesn't bother me. But we stood there, I'm estimating, I don't know, 20 to 25 minutes inside. And then when we finally got the food, there was no place to sit inside. We went outside. So there was 3 tables that was out in the sun. Oh, you know where this is going. Oh yeah. So we go out, we sit at one of the tables, we sit down. Well, the seats are made out of like stone. And I bet it was 110 on those seats. We sat there, and my son sat there, and we started eating. Now, the food was okay. I didn't think it was anything spectacular. I mean, I got to give it for what it was. And by that time, everybody was pushing, shoving everybody else through there. It was like, ugh, it's like, Jesus, it's like, what, what's the deal? But we sat down, and I actually sat there for 4 minutes before I had to get up. But we're sitting there, and it was like, but what I didn't understand, I looked across the way at all the other restaurants that's along there, and they all got these umbrellas. But these, hold on, guys. Wait a minute. Okay, guys, I'm going to have to make a part 2 because I'm about ready to run out of time. So check out part 2 and what happened at In-N-Out.